Welcome to AviatorDB News Briefing. Today is Saturday, July 25th, 2026. First, breaking news headlines. Kenmore Air seaplane destroyed by fire after emergency landing near Sucia Island. In other news, FAA Unruly passenger reports 2026 signal record surge and disruptions. Atlanta runway incursion July 2026 raises safety alarms at KATL. 737 MAX Safety Bulletin 2026, Boeing rolls out software update. Korean Air A380 declares pan after hydraulic failure at JFK. Now for the details. July 25th, 2026, Aviator News Network. 11 people survived a dramatic emergency water landing near Sucia Island, Washington, on Thursday, July 23, 2026, though the aircraft was completely destroyed by fire. The aircraft, a de Havilland Canada DHC-3T Vazar turbine Otter registered as N79KA and operated by Kenmore Air, was performing flight Ken 140 from Seattle's Lake Union to Roche Harbor Airport when it crashed in Shallow Bay around 5:15 p.m. PDT, according to reports from Reuters and the Aviation Safety Network. Witnesses described the aircraft repeatedly bouncing on the water before striking the rocky shoreline, where it was quickly engulfed in flames. A joint rescue effort involving the U.S. Coast Guard, which deployed an MH-65D helicopter, along with Canadian authorities, local emergency services, and civilian vessels, successfully rescued the pilot and 10 passengers. The San Juan County Sheriff's Office reported that all 11 occupants suffered injuries, including fractures and head trauma. One person remains in critical condition, while others have since been discharged from the hospital. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, have launched an investigation into the cause of the crash. Kenmore Air, the largest seaplane airline in the U.S., temporarily canceled several Friday flights to facilitate the arrival of NTSB investigators at the crash site, as reported by Como News. No cause for the emergency landing has been established at this time. While the cause of the Sucia Island accident remains unknown, the DHC-3T variant has been the subject of previous safety scrutiny. In 2022, a similar aircraft crashed near Whidbey Island, prompting the NTSB to issue urgent safety recommendations regarding inspection of the horizontal stabilizer trim actuator lock ring. Officials have not indicated any link between that prior incident and the July 23rd accident. ANN will continue to update this story as new information becomes available. Sources: Aviation Safety Network, Reuters, Como News, San Juan County Sheriff's Office. New FAA Unruly passenger reports for 2026 show the United States is on pace for the highest number of disruptive passenger cases in aviation history. According to Federal Aviation Administration data, incident levels remain significantly above pre-pandemic baselines, driven by surging travel demand and increasingly crowded cabins. Under its zero-tolerance policy, launched in early 2021, the FAA continues to pursue aggressive civil penalties against passengers who assault, threaten, or interfere with crew members. The agency has proposed fines as high as $37,000 per violation, with some cumulative penalties topping $8,000. The crackdown is designed to strengthen overall crew security and cabin safety across the domestic fleet. Industry analysts describe the current trend as structural rather than cyclical, with capacity constraints and residual post-pandemic stress contributing to elevated rates of disruptive behavior investigations. Although mask-related conflicts peaked in 2021, when the FAA logged 5,981 reports, alcohol-related disturbances and general non-compliance remain prevalent. The FAA has referred more than 310 of the most serious cases to the FBI for criminal prosecution since late 2021, signaling a sustained shift towards stricter enforcement to deter future misconduct. A runway incursion at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport on July 24, 2026, has sparked fresh safety concerns after two commercial airliners came into conflict during departure and arrival operations. No injuries or serious damage have been confirmed, but the event has drawn immediate attention to the operational risks at one of the world's busiest aviation hubs. The incident comes as the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, continues a comprehensive audit of the 45 busiest U.S. airports. The FAA had previously flagged KATL as a priority following a series of near collisions and ground incidents, including a reported collision between two Delta aircraft in a prior year, with the audit aimed at developing specific risk profiles to identify gaps in procedures, equipment, and processes. Safety experts point to the complexity of KATL's runway layout as a contributing factor in such events. The FAA has previously designated several hotspots at the airport where the risk of runway confusion is elevated due to complex taxiway intersections, and historical NTSB findings at Hartsfield-Jackson have cited pilot fatigue and confusing signage as probable causes for surface errors. Collision warning systems and flashing runway status lights have been implemented at major hubs, but the July 24th event underscores the ongoing challenge of managing high-volume traffic. Investigators are expected to review air traffic control communications and cockpit voice recorders to determine the exact cause of the conflict. A new Boeing 737 MAX safety bulletin issued in July 2026 has prompted a coordinated software update rollout across the fleet. The update targets recently identified edge case flight control behaviors and is designed to enhance operational stability. While no major incident triggered the action, the move has renewed scrutiny of the 737 MAX's technical profile and the FAA's ongoing certification oversight. According to regulatory filings, the software update refines control law logic to prevent anomalous behaviors in rare flight regimes. The change continues a pattern of iterative safety enhancements that began with post-grounding modifications to the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCS. Separately, CFM International has also updated LEAP-1 billion engine control software to mitigate cabin smoke risks following bird strikes, per reporting by Aviation Line, underscoring the broad multi-system safety effort surrounding the MAX platform. The FAA Bulletin requires operators to implement the software revisions to maintain airworthiness standards. Industry analysts note that because of the aircraft's history, any modification to flight control software remains a high-sensitivity event for regulators and pilots alike. Boeing has stated that the update reflects its ongoing commitment to safety and rigorous testing protocols. A Korean Air Airbus A380-800 arriving from Seoul, Incheon International Airport, ICN, declared a pan-pan urgency call during its descent into New York. John F. Kennedy International Airport, JFK, on January 18, 2026, after a hydraulic system failure prevented normal landing gear extension. The aircraft, registration HL7627, requested priority handling from air traffic control as the crew executed manual gear extension procedures. The flight crew flew an ILS approach to runway 04R and touched down without incident. Because the hydraulic failure also compromised the aircraft's taxi capability, HL7627 remained stationary on taxiway FB for approximately 63 minutes before being towed to the gate. Korean Air confirmed that standard safety procedures were followed throughout and that no passengers or crew were injured. No official investigation report has been released by the FAA or South Korean authorities. Aviation analysts noted the crew's decision to declare pan-pan rather than a mayday was appropriate, as the aircraft remained controllable throughout the approach. The incident underscores the A380's built-in hydraulic redundancy, which allows for manual gear extension in the event of a primary system failure. That's all we have for today. You can get the latest aviation news at aviatordb.com.